Good evening and welcome to Reckless Speculation. I'm your temporary host yet again, Raj, in for Randall, who is not only being our technical IT guy, which kind of scares the three of us quite a bit, but also is not feeling well. We ask everyone to keep him in your thoughts. That guy's been through the ringer and back. He doesn't complain ever, so you know he's really hurting. Plus, I like to spout drunken ramblings as opposed to hosting. So, if he asks me to do this, then he's not feeling great. So keep him in your thoughts. For Brandon Chain, how are you?
Good, man.
Living the dream. And
Yeah.
Robert Davis, quickly.
Can't complain. The only thing I can complain about is I thought it was Thursday all day today, counting down to the Titans playoff game on Saturday. So got 2 more days of work and then heading to Nashville.
Must be nice. I was hoping to go to Nashville. You guys had asked me about my Saturday. The reason why I say that is, as a Raider fan, I was able to go to Cincinnati for that game. I'd rather lose by 40 than lose the way that the Raiders did. Obviously there was terrible officiating, not to be not surprising by Boger and company, who the NFL said is not going to be officiating again. But somebody went to graduate school in Cincinnati. I forgot how passionate that city is and how desperate for a winner they are. It had been 31 years since they won a playoff game. I think I may have been the Bo Jackson game, which I was at, that they won. I'm still devastated by what happened to Bo. I saw grown men crying, and that's no joke. They didn't win the lottery or, avert nuclear war. There were people crying, and, it is Cincinnati, Ohio, whatever that means. And it was so loud in there. Even my buddy that I went to school with said he's never seen a stadium like that. People were hugging after. As a Raider fan, I just kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Did I think it would be with 11 seconds left? Derek Carr, 10 yards out, 9 yards out? Yeah, I did, because nothing's ever easy. And the Raiders miraculously just like to break our hearts. But really, the defense did their job. They had many chances to win that game. But all in all, it had been a long time since I'd been to a playoff game. And I wish I was seeing the Raiders in Nashville this weekend, but alas, we are going to see the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. And that takes me straight into that. The Titans chain are 3.5-point favorites. Does that seem low?
No, I mean that seems more like a pick'em game with home field advantage.
Exactly.
So they get the hook. I mean, the Bengals are a hot team right now. I mean, Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind. I mean, he had a kind of a rough start at the beginning of the season. Robbie knows that too well with his fantasy team. But
Stupid ball.
What a bomb! No, I mean he's playing top 3, top 5 quarterback right now. So it's going to be a tough matchup. I still give the nod to the Titans. Obviously, I'm pulling for them, but statistically too, I think we match up pretty well with them. We can get the pass rush going. We're fully healthy, both sides of the ball, which is hadn't been since week 1. So I'm excited to see that. Cannot wait for this game. I mean, I lose sleep at night just thinking it's Saturday morning waking up. So I'm pumped.
It's going to be a sweet game. And before we get into it, the Raiders didn't run the ball enough. Josh Jacobs had 13 carries for 83 yards against the poorest Cincinnati rush defense. They should have run the ball way more.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me to my next question. Rob, what do you expect? Because you're a realistic Titans fan, which is short for fanatic, but I don't care who you are, even if you're a freak like Henry. It's been 3 months since he's played. What do you expect to see from him on Saturday? Is he going to play a little bit of backup to Foreman? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, so I mean, if you don't use him to his full potential and you lose, then it's 8 months till the next game. So I expect it's going to be all hands on deck, and they're going to use him as much as they see fit. And, people be like, oh, Foreman's came in, the running game hasn't changed much. Well, no, the running game hasn't changed much. The defenses have changed, though. They have been able to back up and play pass defense. When Henry's in there, you got to load up, and that lets everyone get open downfield. Play action, I expect a lot of play action. I, as a firm believer in the sports god, me calling Joe Burrow a bum for every single Sunday except for last weekend, and to see him coming into Nashville really worries me. That karma's gonna get me, and so I'm a little worried about that. But man, this is a tough matchup. I was literally I'm in this office pool where we pick the wild card round, then we go back and pick the divisional round. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, can the Titans really do this? They're home until the Super Bowl. And we'll get into more of the other games. But no, I expect a heavy dose of Derrick Henry, and I expect it. I mean, he is not the only back in the league, but by far the most dangerous as far as it goes. Like, hey, you got Chris Johnson's speed mixed with Jerome Bettis' strength. He's a freak, and every time he touches the ball, it's a potential touchdown, and that's got to be terrifying for defenses. And especially, we can keep Cincinnati off the field. We being the Titans, should be able to dictate the pace of this game, the crowd. I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle. 3.5 does kind of surprise me just because that's saying it's a pick 'em. I think the Titans should be a little bit more 4.5, especially how the favorites rolled in the wild card round. I thought Vegas would kind of adjust a little bit more. But they obviously know more than I know. You can check my bank account for that.
No need. Randall, it's great to see you. Thanks for jumping back in. I'll turn it over to you for however long you feel fit. We were just talking about the Titans.
I just got one. It seems like I joined you during the Titans-Bengals discussion. I'll turn it right back over to you. I picked the Bengals.
Oh,
I think Joe Burrow is poised as the breakout star of this playoffs. I went back and forth on this game. If you tell me Derrick Henry is anything above 75%, I pick the Titans. I don't think Derrick Henry coming off of 10 weeks or 12 weeks can beat Derrick Henry. So
it was Halloween when he last played. And I agree with you. That's why my first question to Rob was that. Along Rob's quickly as I saw the Bengals and Raiders up close, Burrow didn't set the world on fire, but he didn't have to. The Bengals were very methodical. The better team won the game. I think Burrow, they didn't show a lot either. So if I were the Titans fans, I'd be concerned. And again, maybe I'm being foolhardy, but I don't think Henry's going to be nearly what he normally is, but his near normal is still better than everyone else. Rob made a great point. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know that division, looking back over 17 games, I know the Titans are the number 1 seed, but I clearly think that's the number 4 division in the NFL, in the AFC.
So the Titans have beat all the power players this year.
And they also lost to some terrible teams as well.
Yeah.
But that's the NFL.
That's true. They beat the Bills, the Chiefs, the Rams, Niners.
But when it goes bad with the Titans, it goes terrible. And Rob, you said it. The defenses have changed. And I was looking at Tannehill. It doesn't matter what yards are per se, but he went over 300 yards once since Henry went down on Halloween, and that was in a loss at home to the Texans. Some of these numbers, he didn't have to do a bunch, but like 93 yards of getting smoked by the Patriots, 153 yards, 120. Again, they won most of these games, which is what a veteran team does. But, Shane, do you think if they have to and they commit everyone to the box that Ryan Tannehill can take the Titans not only past Cincinnati, but into the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a complimentary game, though. I think we are going to have Henry or some type of run game. Now, like to Robbie's point, Henry changes the entire defense. I mean, you see a lot more single safety.
He changes the whole narrative of the game.
You see a lot more of that kind of one-on-one outside. They're trying to man up. Fully healthy. We also haven't seen Julio and AJ play together a whole lot this season. And when they did, Julio had his best game, like 100 yards or something, and a touchdown or whatever.
One game.
His one touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. That one game with that one. I'm just kidding.
Well, to my point, everything's kind of coming together at the end of the season. People are getting healthy. I think the bye week is huge for health. Now, I think Henry's going to be ready to go, and I think he's going to push. I think it's going to be more game football shape and fatigue that's going to get him pulled out of the game more often than him being injured or limping or something of that nature. But again, Deontay Foreman, third down situations, third and short, we have options to run the ball there with him.
Yeah, and I will say this. I don't think that given while Henry's getting back in game shape, in the past, I think Vrabel would be run first down, run second down. I think Vrabel gets a little more creative and says, hey, maybe a play action on first, grab 3 or 4 yards, then our second down, give it to Henry, and really shorten sticks, as opposed to if they load the box, we're not, because in the past they will show 8 or 9 in the box, and Vrabel will just be like, we don't care, we're still running the ball, and so I think he will change it up a little bit like that and go not necessarily open the offense, but just modify it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And as of late, Firkser kind of came into play too, and he was nowhere to be found at the beginning of the season. So I think he could also be utilized, maybe some tight end screens, something of that nature, to get a little chunky yard. So I'm anxious to see how this play calling is going to fall out. And of course, the stadium's going to erupt when Henry's out there. So it's going to be awesome. Can't wait, man.
Randall?
I'm going to go back to it. Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase,
Playmakers.
Boyd, T. Higgins. I think the better weapons are on the Bengals side of football. Now, for my friends, I hope the Titans win. But when we get to the upset alert, I am going to put the Titans on upset alert. And I just feel and if you go back from our earlier in the year, I picked the Chiefs Bengals narrative. I didn't want it to have to run through Tennessee, but I don't trust a non. If you tell me Derrick Henry has 17 carries plus, I think exponentially the Titans' chances to win goes up.
I will promise you he has 17 plus. I promise you that.
Yeah, and you're also putting this game on the offense like it's going to be solely up to them. We've got a fully healthy defense now, and
so do the Bengals. Though they were very healthy.
Got beat up in the Raiders game.
The numbers. The Raiders took advantage of field position. They have the best kicker and punter in the league, and they're the 2 best players on their team, which tells you a lot about the Raiders. I mean, Vegas is no dummy, right? Rob, what does it say when a home team is a 3 or 3.5 point favorite in Vegas?
It's a pick 'em.
But you go back and look at their Super Bowl odds when the Bengals are plus 1,300 and the Titans are plus 850. What does that say?
But the better 2 teams are on the other side of the bracket.
Along those same lines, only the Niners, and I love the Niners. I think they're going to go far. And the Bengals have lower odds to get to, or better odds rather, worse odds rather, let me go there, to get to the Super Bowl at this point than the Tennessee Titans.
More profitable.
Shane, why do you think that's the case?
Well,
this week.
Yeah. So everyone thinks we're, possibly one of the worst number one seeds that's been out there, but
I wouldn't
you
say
got you got to look at, the games we did win, and we had 91 or 94 players rostered this year. Set an NFL record of that. Everyone's been injured and hurt and COVID and this and that. We're finally fully healthy. So yeah, some of them aren't in game shape, but Titans fully healthy. It's, just like we talked about preseason and everything, I'm excited to see it. And these coaches are no dummies, and they're going to play to their strengths in this game.
I'll tell you why they're this way, because Vegas is in business to make money. Look, let's be real. Outside of people that when Derrick Henry got hurt and he dropped off fantasy rosters, not a single soul outside of Tennessee watched the damn Titans game. And we just creeped into the number one seed and like, oh, I guess they're pretty good, but I have no idea who plays on their team. It's a small market team, even though Nashville's not a small market, but relatively football, NFL wise, it is. Nobody we play the Titans play for half their season. They play the Colts, the Jags, and the Texans. Nobody cares about any of those games ever unless you're one of those fans. So This is just Vegas laying the odds on who's going to bet on what.
And on the viewership side, in the media, it's all about flashy, big time plays and all that. And the Titans are just, they might get an occasional, long pass touchdown or something, but it's mainly, beat it down the field and punch it in. So it's not a sexy offense.
The Jets and Giants get more publicity for being horrible run franchises and And
it's nice to see you guys so objective, though. You're not just fans; you're really saying on equal, equilibrium and even keel.
I said it's going to be
what you really believe.
No, but it is the truth.
I think the general public is probably where I'm at, in that they feel like the Titans are limping into the playoffs, and I think the general public and the betting public are also feeling like Derrick Henry coming back 2 months later is not the same Derrick Henry I left. Now, the one thing I will say, that number, 17, he averages, 5.5 yards a carry around that? That's 100 yards. If Derrick Henry has 100 yards on 17 carries and a touchdown,
game over.
The narrative changes. I just don't see even Superman being able to do that.
That he is.
That's why they play the games. If I'm looking at all four teams right now, I definitely think Buffalo and Kansas City are playing better, but that doesn't matter because neither of those teams are playing the Titans. The Titans are at home. I think the Bengals will travel well. Nashville is like Vegas and LA. It's a destination city. But I think the Titans will have a decided home field advantage. Now, whether or not their secondary can stop Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Tyler Boyd, Higgins, like Randall said, I guess we'll see. But I don't want to talk all night about that game. Randall, are you good with us moving on to the other AFC game?
Go.
I know nobody else cares in Tennessee land, but I would rather see Buffalo and Kansas City, which along the same lines, Kansas City's at home, and right now they're a 1.5-point favorite. Rob, what does that tell you?
Wait, there's another NFL game this weekend?
Oh,
I know,
God.
seriously. Well, this is, I think it's college.
Oh, yeah.
I might be able to pick up some LSU basketball tickets cheap, I hear.
Yeah, this tells me
I think it's the barbecue bowl.
This really tells me I'm not sure what I'm missing about this. Yeah, the Bills played great against the Patriots, but and so thanks for not watching the show on Monday, Raj. But my theory was on Monday that
I heard about it.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
You're lying. So my theory on Monday was that Bill Belichick embarrassed Buffalo so badly on that 3-pass victory that it motivated that team so much that that was their Super Bowl to beat New England. And to put them out because they embarrassed their whole professional life. That's the most they've been embarrassed. Because I was embarrassed for them. I just think about playing Madden, and if you tell me what play you're going to run, and I can't stop it, and you keep doing it over and over and over again, I'm pushing the reset button or pulling the plug. Like, hey, this can't happen. So I think Kansas City got a semi-bye, and Buffalo played their highest. Then Buffalo goes on the road, going to Kansas City, probably the toughest place to play in the AFC at least. It looks like a trap spread, but no, I'm taking it. I like Kansas City. They got the better quarterback, the better coach, probably talented weapons matchup, but no, I like KC in this one.
For those that weren't sure what Rob was referencing, that game was in Buffalo, and Mac Jones went 2 for 3 for 19 yards. And it's not like when you go back to Madden or even Tecmo Bowl for people like Randall and I, Bo Jackson or Walter Payton was back there. No disrespect to Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, but they knew what they were going to do, and they were at home, and they couldn't stop it at all. And I agree, it's beyond the word embarrassing for a professional football player, I imagine. It was sad. Chain along those lines, and then Randall, your thoughts on this game? Obviously, Vegas is thinking Buffalo's going to give them a run for their money. No pun intended.
Yeah. So what happened in the Patriots game? I agree with Robbie's theory. Like you said, if you listened to the show on Monday, we talked about it. It was an embarrassment, and I think they changed up their entire game, their scheme, and everything. Obviously, from the watching film and whatnot. Also, I think Belichick threw everything he had in that game, and he outcoached them and played to his strengths. Now, Mac Jones is not his strength, and Buffalo knows that. So they did not allow them to run the ball very effectively in this game, and they put it all on Mac Jones' shoulders, and we saw exactly what we saw with a rookie quarterback in the second version of Mac Jones. And, he throws, 2 interceptions that game. Changed the whole game. Now, Buffalo, that was probably their best game thus far.
They look good.
Defensively, like I said, they sold out on the run, put it on Mac Jones, and it worked. But there's a lot more talented teams coming. You've got some decent running backs, and KC is on fire right now. Mahomes isn't making stupid decisions like he was early in the season. I'm with Rob. I would take KC. Give me the points. That's good. Love it.
Randall, now let's not forget that there were 40-mile-per-hour gusts of wind in that game. But the same token, Buffalo couldn't stop New England, but New England stopped Buffalo's ground game. But if Josh Allen isn't able to move and kind of change things on the run, then, he's dead in the water. He was able to do that against Kansas City way back in September or whenever it was in that rematch. And to Chain's point, Mahomes was forcing it through 2 picks. Everything was a check down. They kept everything in front of him. He averaged 5 yards per pass. Randall, what's going to be different this game? And are you willing to bet on Buffalo literally and figuratively?
Literally and figuratively, I think Buffalo wins the football game. And here's why.
Nice.
One, I think you're all underestimating the most embarrassing thing in the NFL, even this season. To me, it's not the Bills losing on a 3-pass attempt night by Mac Jones. It was the Patriots giving up a touchdown on every single Bills drive in a playoff game. The first time in NFL history, 7 drives, 7 touchdowns, never been done before.
I didn't know that.
Against the number 1 defense in the NFL going into the playoffs. Number 2, the best running back on the field is named Devin Singletary. And I just want to read you just a little bit.
He was on my team.
So, since
Nice job. How'd that turn out?
mid-December, 22 carries, 86 yards, and a catch, and a touchdown. 12 carries for 39, a touchdown, 5 catches. 23 for 110, 2 touchdowns. 19 for 88, and a touchdown and 2 catches. 16 for 81, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions. Those are Singletary stat lines heading into the playoff. Since Zach Moss has found his way to stand beside Burrito on the sideline of the Bills, Buffalo has really remade this offense from a run first through Stephon Diggs offense. Now it's really flowing through Singletary. They're going to run the football to set up the play action. And I think the backside of the Kansas City defense is really bad. So I like Singletary in this matchup. Matter of fact, for the DFS players, he is my number 1 play this weekend. Also, I like him on the first touchdown and his prop bet. I think it's over 71. So I think the better running game this time is on the Buffalo side. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, 1A, 1B. Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs.
I like it, dude.
Players. Dawson Knox, Travis Kelce, great players. If anything, the Buffalo pass receiving may be a little deeper than the Kansas City. If you get into the McCall Hardman and Demarcus Robinson versus Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders and Gabe Davis, I like that second, third, and fourth target from Buffalo more than Kansas City.
I agree with that. And,
Yeah.
before we get into the NFC and the team that I think is the biggest dark horse and that I put a little bit on because I'm scared and I used to hate them, the San Francisco 49ers, who I think will win this weekend. I want to score from each of you first, Kansas City and Buffalo. I'll tell you, I like Kansas City to win a close one, a field goal game. Robbie?
Well, let me just talk about how that was a great, intelligent breakdown by Randall of the game, and he made all the kind of points you would want to make if you're making your argument.
Is this a Billy Madison response?
But Andy Reid's the most creative play caller in football. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got the home field. Kansas City 7-2 at home. Buffalo's 5-3 on the road. Three of those road games came against Miami, the Jets, and New England. So
in the regular season,
weak division. Yes, but so a score prediction. I'm gonna go KC 34, Buffalo 28.
I like it. Shane?
I've got 27-30 KC.
Randall?
34-31, the Bills of Buffalo.
See, I like 34-31, but the
over.
other way. Yes, we're all over 54.5,
Mhm.
which is pretty high over. Obviously, the highest of the weekend.
Yeah, it looks like no snow, no bad weather. It's gonna be cold in Green Bay, but looks like it's gonna be dry conditions everywhere.
They're going to be, nice atmospheres, if you
I think
will.
Green Bay's got like a 40% chance of light snow, but I don't think it's going to do anything to really affect
It looks like 36 in Nashville, 12 in Green Bay, 60 in Tampa, which would be nice, and 43 in Kansas City.
Which is
Speaking
actually
of it,
very
we
nice
come
for
on-
them.
Yeah.
We should come on Sunday before kickoff and recap Saturday and preview Sunday for a few minutes. Do another
So,
15 or 30-minute setup like you guys did for Monday night.
I'll
Which
probably
I
have
thought
a
was great.
Titans tattoo on my forehead.
Do
By
you
the way,
guys
don't
think-
see me almost slip walking into the room?
no.
Not this
Paying
time.
attention to you.
Hey, real quick, do the Titans win by more than 7? You two that think the Titans will win. I'm actually with Randall. I think the Bengals could really throw a wrench into your dreams there. But do the Titans win by more than 7, Brandon and Robbie?
I think it's a field goal game. I think it is.
Rob?
I think it's close all game. I think it's back and forth. Yeah, field goal or less. I would not bet anything on the Titans to get 3.5.
No.
Less.
But Hook's there for a reason. I think it's going to be. Yeah.
I like the over, though. 47 is low.
But I like the over, too.
47.
Because I think the Titans could be chasing. So I
think it's
like
gonna
the
be a
Bengals over.
Yeah, I agree. 47, I think, is low. If I was going to make a bet on this game, it would be on the over. Shall we switch over into the NFC?
Yeah.
Which game do you guys want to do first? Well, let's do the Rams and Bucks. 2 warm weather teams playing in whatever month this is, January, even though I like the Rams. They're not my favorite team, clearly. But I don't know. It's just not the same as Niners and Packers, even though San Francisco's not exactly the Ice Age. Tampa Bay is only a 3-point favorite. Shane, I agree with you. We talked about how Stafford just loves to blow it when it matters the most. Are you going to actually bet on him or bank on him this week, or do you think Tampa runs away with it?
I'm staying away from the spread. I'm probably leaning over here at 48.5. It's so hard for me to trust Stafford. He just has that turnover in him, that forced ball. I mean, it's kind of like Brett Favre of late, just gunslinger throwing it down the field. Throws too many 50-50 balls, in my opinion. But I do think that the Rams can pull this upset. I think the offensive line of the Bucks, they got beat up a little bit last game. Jensen and Ware, I believe. Ware, I don't even know if he's going to see the field. He had to leave again. So with that pass rush and that defense, if Stafford can manage to not turn it over again, like I said last week, I think they can pull this out.
He didn't have to do much last week, whether it be from Kyler Murray in Arizona, just giving them the ball, special teams, the run game did well for the most part in terms of yards.
And the addition of Cam Akers coming back was huge. I mean, he had some big gash runs that really set them up well. So
he didn't, but Sony Michel, he was going between the tackles and, he ripped off a 35-yarder. I was like, who is that guy? Randall, what do you think about this game? Do you think the Rams – Stafford only threw 17 times. I agree with Ken. You put it on Stafford, and invariably he's going to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
But does Tampa still have the same, drive after all this and Antonio Brown and all this garbage? What do you think, Randall? Do you think Tampa's going to be the same Tampa Bay team as last year?
I hate him, but as long as 12 is on the sideline, their drive's going to be fine. That guy is a mastermind of getting his team motivated. In watching those games, I think you brought up a great storyline. We saw Cam Akers come back and be fairly effective. Again, that goes back to the scenario we were talking about Derrick Henry. Cam Akers and Henderson can be effective, but also I thought Keyshawn Vaughn and Gio Bernard had a pretty decent game for Tampa. They carried the ball 30 times for right at 100 yards, 2 scores, and I really thought Keyshawn Vaughn looked good in the pass game. Leonard Fournette was quietly having a Pro Bowl year. The greatest draft pick Robbie Davis ever made was Leonard Fournette, clearly becoming RB1 over Ronald Jones. Also, I think we got a little bit of the preview of what the passing is going to look like, that Mike Evans is going to dominate targets, but Cameron Brate and Rob Gronkowski are going to see a lot more targets. And Scotty Miller is back from not being on the field in 2021 to being a real threat to maybe get 4 or 5 targets in this game. I think Chain has said the same scenario for about 3 weeks straight. There has never been a bigger prove yourself moment in the NFL this year than Matthew Stafford having to go out and match TB12 on the field.
Hey, I appreciate the Scotty Miller reference. I had to clean out the earwax there, but you're right. He's been one of those guys that sometimes he shows up, and in fantasy, if you try to rely on him, you probably got screwed, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Rob, what does it mean when a home team is a 3-point favorite?
Yeah, that was going to be my first point is, man, Vegas is begging you to pick Tampa.
And
that
who do you pick?
So I can't envision this being Brady's last game, and I think it's so stupid to bet against Brady because I don't know what more you want to see than his whole career proving people wrong. With that being said, I'm willing to be a little stupid from time to time, and I think the defensive line is going to get pressure and make Brady uncomfortable. The Rams have the weapons to match them, and it's a warm weather game. The Rams are 7-2 on the road in the toughest division in the sport. They're battle tested. I think Stafford got the monkey off his back last week. That was a monumental game for him to win the playoff game. I think if he got the bye, I would be less confident in him right now. I like that he won a game, and man, I just think they're too much. I was looking at my bracket trying to fill it out, and as much as I hate to go against Tampa Bay, give me the points, give me money line. I think the Rams win. And quick side note, do you know how much talent I had on my fantasy team that just didn't work at the right time of the season? If I would have just
Hey, TV.
Yeah.
12,
We know.
You're RD12.
Yeah,
If you
we
go
know.
Fournette and Singletary weren't even drafted in the top 24 running back picks. I got them both, but it just didn't work fast enough.
I got
if you
my
go through these
nearly.
two rosters, I feel like this is the one game where you can go. The Rams have better running backs. Okay, well the Rams have a better defensive line. The Rams have better secondary. But there's no question that the Bucs have the better offensive line. The Bucs have the better linebackers. So each team has strength in this team. I really think this is the quarterback game. I think what separates these two teams, I think they're very equal. I think it's under center that this game gets separated.
These 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, are going to be fantastic. Like every game matches up to be a classic. I'm so excited about it.
As a West Coast guy, West Coast teams always say the weather doesn't matter. Bullshit stuff. It does matter.
Yeah.
I remember the Rams being in the NFC Championship game against the Bears. I think Dieter Brock was the quarterback. They were popping off. They had Dickerson. They got smoked. I remember 51-3, the Raiders at the Bills. They're just, all the Raiders had pocket warmer fanny packs or whatever. This is a warm weather game, and I agree with Rob. I think the Rams are actually going to show up. Who's to say? Brady had 43 TDs and 12 picks. He's got a great line. He doesn't have, for him, he's got the best release. He's obviously the brightest football player, in my opinion, ever. Why would he retire? He barely took hits. He played in every game.
He's playing
And
in
they play in a horrible division.
Yeah, exactly. So why not come back? He's going to be one of those guys that, once he retires, what's he going to do? Not
He's got
much.
2 more years, at least.
So, I don't even cap it at that. So even though I think the Rams and Stafford are choke artists, I think the weather, it being a warm weather game, And Brady not necessarily having that. We saw Roethlisberger last week with his last game ever, and that didn't turn out too well. How about a score on this game? I'll start with myself. I'm going to say 34-20. No, I'll go 34-30 Rams. Chain?
I did say I like the over, but I'm going to recant that statement.
Sure.
I think it's 27-21. I think it's going to be
Who?
Rams.
Rams. Rob?
Rams won 34-24 in LA early in the season. I think similar scoring points. And so I'll take the over. And then, 3 points, give me the Rams.
With 3 guys in favor of the Rams, Randall, bring us back to earth, please.
Buccaneers 31-24. Most important column, though, 2-0. 2 INTs for Matthew Stafford, 0 for Tom Brady. Difference in the game.
That changes the narrative. If he's got 1 or less, they win the game.
Switching bodies with Chain right there. Miranda, why don't you take over when we go to the last game? You do this much better than I do. Plus, I love the Niners. I hate to say that, but I think they're going to win outright, and I'll let you guys speak first, and then I get to blab.
All right. Well, thank you for it was fun to be a guest there for a little bit. We got to do more of that. So let's talk about this game. The Packers come in as the perennial favorite in Vegas to win the Super Bowl. Right now, Vegas picks the Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl. I think this is the game with the biggest gap, where I have the hardest time getting a narrative that the Niners win. So let's start with that. What is the narrative, Shane? Packers win, Niners win. Give me 2 different scenarios then that either team could lead to that team winning.
Okay, so I'm kind of leaning with what Raj said on this. I think this is my upset alert here. I think it's going to come down to Deebo Samuel and how they move him around. I think they're going to have to run the ball. It's going to be a cold game. Potential snow, it's not going to affect too much on the passing side. 49ers defense is pretty stout.
Right back.
They've got a good pass rush as long as Bosa's, back healthy and ready to go. So I think running the ball with Deebo and mixing him up and getting the end arounds or the straight out sweeps or whatever, that guy's special, ball in his hands. And then, you can't forget about Kittle, Ayuk, and even Jawan Jennings, our Tennessee boy, who's come up as of late. So
who had the biggest decleat of the playoffs so far.
What's that?
Who has the biggest decleat I've seen all month.
Yeah.
On the kickoff return. So just a shout out to my boy.
Who's
still a man beast.
He is. So, they've got weapons. Again, it's going to come down to game management with that quarterback, Garoppolo. We saw him try to blow it at the end of the Cowboys game and throw that stupid interception. So, again, if he can manage the game, I think the key is Deebo Samuel. I think running the ball, Elijah Mitchell, he's been good for him. So, they're going to have to run it, kind of control the clock, keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands, and maintain the game that way. Now, vice versa, if they can't run it or barring some type of injury or something of that sort, Green Bay is going to light them up. So, I don't know. That was a weak scenario for them, but
Robbie Davis, paint us the same pictures.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. The Packers are 8-0 at home. They've got a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback. San Francisco is coming from the Bay Area, which can get cold, but not cold like Green Bay can. It's
It gets
12-degree
pretty
weather. It's nighttime. They're out of their element. Aaron Rodgers just doesn't absent coaching mistakes. He just doesn't lose these games. We talked about the best quarterback won, or at least the majority of the playoffs, the best quarterback has won. Aaron Rodgers versus Garoppolo, I don't think you have to spend much time talking about who's better in that situation. Aaron Rodgers is going to dominate this game. I think Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. Their running scheme, their creativeness with Samuels is awesome. But at the end of the day, one's got Aaron Rodgers and one doesn't. And you're going to Green Bay. No, don't overcomplicate things. Bet the Packers. They're going to cover the 6. These guys this way and that way are crazy for picking the Niners.
All right, Raj, I've been waiting on this one because we've agreed mostly tonight, but paint that picture. How do the Niners get there?
Is it just me, or does it feel like the Packers have played every game at home? I don't remember a lot of road wins. One of them, though, was at San Francisco. The Niners took the lead. It was 28-27 late. They fell asleep on defense, and they let Davante Adams rip off a couple, and Crosby hit a 51-yard field goal as time expired. Final was 30-28. Now, that was week 4, I think. In the playoffs especially, I know Garoppolo is not Aaron Rodgers, but the best quarterback aside from Brady doesn't always win. I side with defense, and the Niners had the best defense left in the playoffs, and I side with playmakers and the most dominant player. And Deebo Samuel is the most dominant, quote, unstoppable player left in the playoffs, aside from 100% Derrick Henry. I just think the Niners are going to find a way, and I think 6 is way too much. Is part of this sort of an impetus, a feeling, because nothing ever goes according to plan in the NFL playoffs? Yes. But, last week they showed they didn't have to rely on Garoppolo that much, and I think that's going to happen again. I think the Packers, one home seed is going to not play up to their potential. Again, this is all theory, and I hate to resort to this, but if that's the case, then I'm going to side with a team with a great offensive line, the best left tackle left in the game. It doesn't matter who they put back there. Running back's going to go for 100 yards. And, a great center in Alex Mack, the former Falcon, Nick Bosa, the Trumpy, right? Oh, sorry, no politics. Ridiculously talented, defensive end. Fred Warner. I just look at that team and I'm like, man, they're playmakers. Players make plays. And I think the 49ers are going to win this game.
All right, y'all, I've got questions for all of you. Let me start with you, Raj. Deebo Samuel's over Davante Adams as an explosion player?
Yes, in terms of Samuel had 72 yards on the ground last week. He can run. He can catch. I think he can throw. I'm not saying he's the best receiver in the game, which Davante Adams probably is, but Deebo Samuel, I think, is the most effective offensive player at the moment that's not a quarterback. And I haven't seen anybody – that's one thing in our fantasy league, which I won and just collected my near $2,000 this week. One thing about Chris, who won, is he picked Deebo Samuel fairly late. And he also had Davante Adams, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm.
Just beast team. And if we didn't have a Week 18 championship, which is kind of ridiculous for how serious our league is, which I said before, I liked it this year, but, Chris's team deserved it. And with Deebo was just nonstop points. So, yeah, I think he is a better overall, more effective offensive player. Better receiver? No. But I would rather, if I'm in a hallway and I see Devontae Adams, Dark hallway running down at me, or Dark alley rather, or Deebo Samuel, I would die either way, but I would choose Adams. Actually, I'd choose Samuel because it would be a quicker death. Does that make sense?
Shane, we've talked. You and Rod have talked about the path for the Niners win, but yet none of us have mentioned probably the most dominant position player in the NFL. I think this year. I think he passed Travis Kelce. I think Kittle is the best tight end in the NFL, and the biggest advantage, if you break down these two rosters, that the Niners have.
He is. I wouldn't say the biggest, because I would agree with Raj on this. Deebo Samuel, and then that whole conversation that you're like comparing Michael Jordan to LeBron James. Like Michael Jordan is the best, he's the GOAT, whatever. LeBron James is the best all-around player that we've seen.
But they do different things.
There's been a scenario that at running back has hurt Deebo's production at wide receiver, which I think we have seen.
Right. And that's fair, but it's necessary. They've needed help in the backfield all year. They, with injuries and whatnot, and Elijah Mitchell back there, he's been serviceable. He's had some good games, but Kittle he's always been, since he's first year in the league, he's been a top 2 tight end pick. It was Kelce or Kittle. I mean, that's who you took. So definitely an advantage there on that side. But again, I think they've got to really balance this offense and mix Samuel up like they've been doing. And that's going to be the key to their success and winning this game, plus the defense.
Robbie Davis, you talked about it. I think we follow the same place. We know the greatness of Aaron Rodgers, but the Packers bring 2 stud running backs to this game. And one of the few teams that I say I actually like their backup better. You've got A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, all the greatness of the Packers. Is this a game in the bad weather that we might see one of those guys or both of those guys get 10, 15 carries, $150?
I think the Packers are going to rely heavy on the run game and then have Rodgers as their safety net. But to back up to, you talking about Kittle and Kelce and Deebo. So what you're seeing in the NFL, in my opinion, is what you're seeing mismatches. So it used to be you had your Randy Mosses and you could just go deep, and then cornerbacks got faster. Then you got your evolution of your Gronk, your Kelce, and your Kittle. It's not that necessarily Kittle's better than Kelce. It's Kelce's been in the league longer, and the teams in that division draft differently to protect themselves against that weakness. You're going to see the same with Deebo and Cordell Patterson in Atlanta. Like, this is a new evolution of these guys that are receivers, running backs. Remember when Percy Harvin came in with Minnesota? If he didn't have his migraines, he was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what you're seeing is you're seeing matchups, and then teams have dropped, like Buffalo. They're a 1.5 underdog against Kansas City because they built their team to beat Kansas City. That's it. That was their mission. And that's how teams are built now. It's a short window. You get your quarterback on a rookie deal, and then you build around them. And then once they sign that contract, it's very, very hard to win because the salary cap doesn't match up. So that was an off-topic answer. Yes, I think
that's great. Great points.
Runs the ball a lot, and then I think it's ball control. And while San Francisco's better at ball control with their zone read running, I just can't bet against Aaron Rodgers at home. I can't.
Does Green Bay cover this 6? I asked
Yes.
all of you.
Raj, I'm going to give you a number that's going to blow your mind. I think this is a blowout.
Wow.
I think this is the one-sided game in this round. I like, and we'll go around and we'll pick this game in a minute, but I'm going to pick a big number. Raj, before we get off of that, I want to ask you about one more want to ask you about one, I think, other advantage the Niner has, and that's on the sidelines. I do believe in Kyle Shanahan, and he has coached. You know, he won a Super Bowl with the Falcons, 28-3 over the Patriots, and don't any of y'all tell me any different. So Kyle Shanahan has been there.
But what about the end of the play, Miss Lincoln? How was that?
I don't know. Me and Abe went back home.
He coaching Miss Lincoln. Back home to heaven, right?
Sideline, who's got the advantage?
They're both like 13 in age, right? Like, I'll take the Niners. And again, I always think of emotion, which is silly, but like it always seems like one of the home teams with a bye, the 1 seed, smoked one of their opponents. The reason why I'm picking the Niners again is because of defense. They have the best defense left in the playoffs, and Deebo Samuel. But by the same token, it's like Vegas. Could I see Green Bay smoking them and Garoppolo throwing 4 picks? Sure. I really could. I'm just hoping I'm right this time. Obviously, these two guys think that, is Green Bay going to win by more than 2 touchdowns, Jay?
No, I've got 17-24 Niners.
Wow.
Oh,
Robbie, go ahead with your score.
Well, look, guys, look at what the experts say. Titans pick them. Bucks, Rams pick them. Chiefs, Bills in that realm of pick them. Green Bay -6, that's the outlier. They're begging you to take the Niners. And when they're begging you to take something, you go the opposite. Green Bay big.
I'll take the money line for the Niners and keep it low just because
I'll be
enjoy
your bookie.
that return.
All right, guys.
Again?
Well, let's start wrapping it up. First of all, River City Media needs your help. We have a Cash App that we'll be posting on our website. If you enjoy our content, you listen to our content, we are going to be a YouTube-based company in 2022. We need your help. We need some additions. We need you, first of all, to smash and like and subscribe. And every time we go live, which will be through YouTube, on Facebook, please follow us. We need your support. Robbie Davis is doing a little bit of, give your Twitter out there, Robbie. There's a lot of good stuff on there too.
Yeah, right there on the screen. RFD 24. I have huge hands, apparently.
Might be able to go to VolQuest and find that also. So
yeah,
I want to go around to last words, and let's start. We're going to do last words, then we'll do upset alert, then we're going to do our best bet. Also, do we know a time that we could all be available on Sunday around the 11 o'clock hour? Work for everyone, or what time would work?
PM or AM?
AM.
Oh, I should be awake.
Robbie, y'all got games, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll be coming back from the Titans game. So, but I'm available. Just mark me as good.
All right.
He said AM, I think.
All right, here we go. Round the table.
Sunday, you're right.
Last words, Brandon James.
last words is I cannot wait till Saturday. Like this home playoff game, it's going to be exciting. I'm pumped about it. Been thinking about it all week. And I think the Titans can pull it out. I am nervous about it. I'm not saying it's not going to be a close game, but I think we can win it. So I'm pumped.
Robert F. Davis or George Franklin.
Yeah, a little bit of the same. I'm excited about Saturday. Also sad about Saturday. I'm not going to be able to go to the Tennessee LSU game in Knoxville. If none of my friends want my tickets, if anyone out there want tickets for free, I guess you can message Randall. He'll get it to me. I hate tickets going unused, so I'd rather give them away than let them go unused.
They're good seats. I've sat there before. They're really good
spoken
seats.
for already. I'll let
Yeah,
the tunnel. They're really good.
Yeah. If someone takes them, yes, they're good seats. They're lower level, but I would rather give them away than let them be unused. Vol fans only, obviously. Other than that, man, what, 3 weeks from the NFL season being over. It's flown by as usual, even the added week. But it's been every week's been good doing the show, and I'm looking forward to if we're doing a Sunday morning show. But everyone, thanks for watching. Whether it's 1 of you, 10 of you, 100 of you, 1,000 of you, thanks.
You know, Robbie, we have not talked about it, but we're going to have football in the spring. But also the thing that we've not talked about, NASCAR is running at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I forgot. Was that my final word, or do I get one more word?
No, I think it's the Coliseum. It's not at the Rose Bowl because
yeah, it's the
we
Coliseum.
were all bummed out about it.
I want to plug my hopeful NASCAR preview show every Sunday morning during NASCAR season.
Robbie,
I heard it's like already sold out. Or it's going to be sold out soon.
I'll join you on that.
Would you want it to be motorsports or racing hour?
It doesn't matter. Whatever.
We have a Robbie Davis motorsports graphic already, so
okay, that'll work.
Does motorsports include like boats and stuff? Because I like watching boats go fast.
I like to motorboat, but I'm already banned. So.
Oh no, I said motorsports.
I mean, it does qualify. It's got a motor and it's a sport.
Yes.
What about golf carts? Golf carts can be.
Final semifinal words.
I like the Niners a lot.
Really told us how the game was.
I mean, it was fun. I expected. Well, actually, I missed the tailgate because I was at the casino the night before until 5 a.m., which is
Did you
in
win?
The middle of I was down a lot, and I only ended up losing like 200, so I consider that a win. Not a lot like you or Chain, but I was getting smoked. And I battled.
Nobody's got that Jeff Bezos money.
Shit, Chain is my casino.
Exactly. But I missed the tailgate with a bunch of my buddies. I was still able to have a little bit of fun beforehand. It was more competitive than I thought. It was a fun time. Again, that stadium had juice. I'd rather them been blown out. I've said that many times. Typical Derek Carr and the Raiders to get our hopes up. We're on the 9-yard line, I think. Just get our butt kicked. But it was a lot of fun. And again, Cincinnati, that city was desperate and starved for a winner. And I'm never happy for anybody else because I'm a true-blown narcissist, like 3 of the 4 of us. But I was kind of pleased. If anybody were going to win, I was happy it was Cincinnati because they are a long-suffering sports city.
Hey, real quick. Raiders, retain the coach, new coach.
I'm hearing Harbaugh is a big focus. I'll take Harbaugh all day. He's great in the pros when he doesn't have to recruit. And he can wear his khakis all day. But yeah, Bisaccia, I don't think he did enough. Honestly, I'm glad Mayock got fired. So after that, whatever. You could be the coach. As long as GM's new, I don't care.
Can you make a phone call? I'll coach.
Once they fired Mayock, I think it probably sealed the coaching change decision.
Yeah, new GM, bring his own guy in. That's going to happen.
Mayock could have been the worst ever, by the way.
We've all
he's good on draft.
Lucky enough to be a lot of NFL playoff football. I've been to 2 NFC championship games. I've been to multiple division round games. I've been to a Super Bowl, but more than even the Super Bowl, which seemed like a corporate event, NFL playoff games get that feeling of college football, and it's the excitement, and the crowd is loud, and it's really a different feel. And I'm not going to a playoff game this weekend. I think that's the dumbest thing. If you're a fan of the Falcons, don't take a ticket to the Titans game. Don't ruin let a Titans fan. I had a friend offer me a ticket. I was like, take someone that's a Titans fan. Playoff football is really, really special. That being said, who you putting on upset alert? Who? Y'all know. I'll go first. Shane, you'll be next. I truly am not trying to throw a jab at nobody. I think the Bengals go into Nashville and money line the Titans. So I'm going to put the Tennessee Titans on upset alert. Brandon Shane?
Yeah, mine was the 49ers. I think, well, I don't know. That's more of a hope, I guess. So let's retract
Me too.
that. Let's go. I'm gonna say Rams over Tampa. That's
wow.
my upset alert. I think they can get it done. I hate betting against Brady. He's the GOAT. I just think they're a little beat up. I know you get Fournette back. Offensive line's a little banged up. I mean, defense played at a high level last game for the Rams, which really changed the narrative. Stafford only had to throw the ball, 17 times or whatever. So if they can keep it in that kind of game plan, I mean, they roll.
Robbie Davis, LSU, Tennessee could consider an upset alert, by the way, if you want to go there, because that was my second one. But I'll let you have your floor here. Upset alert.
So, do you know how upset I am that those two games are on the same day? I was asking Allison, I was like, hey, do you want to go to the Vols game? I can do the Vols, and we can go to the AFC Championship game. We can do either one. We're gonna go out in the cold though. It is the playoffs. In which to go back to Brandon's point, there's nothing like NFL playoff games. It's the best of the best athletes going against each other, and it's a college-like atmosphere, but
it's better.
With fewer mistakes, fewer blunders, a quicker game, a more exciting game, and more talent. Upset alert. If I wasn't a Titans fan, I know who I would pick. But
I'm betting Cincinnati right now.
I'm going to go Rams. I think the Rams are going to win. Bills are tough to not pick, but man, Mahomes, I can't do it. Which is crazy because I'm saying Brady's going to lose and Mahomes isn't, but that's what I'm going with. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm going the Rams are going to upset the Bucs.
Same thing. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Right, Meta. Join me on the bingo chain.
What's that?
Is Rod's going to join me on the Bengals here as the upset alert?
The crazy thing about the divisional round is you can easily make a case for each of the road teams, like easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the wild card round in that sense. I look at aside from the Niners, I think the Rams could do well because the Bucs, it's nearly impossible to repeat in the NFL this day and age, especially. But there's Matt Stafford. The Chiefs have Mahomes, but they haven't been impressive. I don't know if I can put it down on the Bengals. I'm literally torn. So obviously, I think the Niners, even though Rob is right, Vegas is
the last date I went on when I asked her what you wanted.
I mean, I'm on the Niners no matter what. But if I were to pick one of the three, I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Nice. All right.
And
Robbie?
Yeah.
And the Bills.
For y'all that didn't watch Monday, my hypothesis is that the NFL's done the near impossible. They've made their playoffs to be almost as exciting as March Madness is. It's great.
Getting there. All right.
We've all thought this, but the Titans have only been around for like 8 years. So, I mean, congratulations and welcome to the party.
Hey, we've been to a Super Bowl recently.
These kids, who cares? You were the Oilers and you moved. Congratulations.
Hey,
you guys never move.
I don't know if I saw that recently.
Hey, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Enjoy the offseason.
Hey, you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan.
I've watched this lose for 40 years, all right? I'm so proud of that.
That's why you're so sour right now.
Yeah.
Let us have a little joy. We're going to a playoff game.
One of 50 reasons.
All right,
fair
guys,
point,
best
though.
Bet your nuts. I've got a little bit of different take. I'm going to tease the divisional round. I'm taking a little 6-point teaser. I'm going to run it on the Packers at a pick 'em. And then I'm going to get the Bengals +9. My best bet of the weekend. Tease the Packers to a pick 'em. Get the Bengals +9. Make your money.
Let me go next. Sorry, Randall. I mean to cut you off because I have to go to the bathroom, and I don't want these two to steal my. I'll take the Bills if I got a 6-point. That's my my go-to. I'll take the Bills with 6. Kansas City 1.5. Hey, go ahead, guys. Let's see what you have to say.
Let's go ahead. Go back to me. I was still teasing
Oh
my
shit!
pick.
Sorry.
All right, Brenda James.
Fine.
Oh shit, my phone. Oh, my phone fell.
So you're taking your teas in the Packers to -9.
Pick 'em.
Oh, a pick 'em. Okay. So that right there says you're not so faithful in them. So I'm going to say take the 49ers +6. I'm going bet your nuts 49ers +6.
All right. Robbie Davis, just don't say Kyle Larson to win the NASCAR championship.
Can you see my notes? No, I'm going to give you guys some real winners, as I usually do. So, Tennessee played at Vandy on Tuesday, covered then. LSU played tonight at Alabama. They lost, didn't cover. Then LSU's now in Tuscaloosa. Game on Saturday going to Knoxville. So, we're probably going to stay in Knoxville for the weekend, or even worse, go back to Baton Rouge, then to Knoxville for Saturday game. I think Barnes has kind of tweaked the lineup to figure it out. Vols, so the lines aren't out yet. Ken Palm has Vols -1 at home, where the Vols haven't lost all season. Beat number 7 Arizona by 13. This is a gimme, guys. Vols -1 at home. They just don't lose at home.
Robbie, how shocked are you that the best offensive lineup that the Vols can put on the court right now has Uris Platches in it? And, I mean, it obviously made a difference when they set Folke. He played only 16 minutes. And Platches really has played his best ball in his Tennessee career.
Well, it's funny. So Barnes said today, he's like, if you want to be stubborn, and Barnes is notoriously stubborn, much to his own detriment. But he said, hey, Euros, if you want to be stubborn, I'll be stubborn. I promise I will out-stubborn you. I've got a 5-year contract. You don't have that much years in eligibility. Then finally he said, okay, he finally gave into what we want to do. Euros is good. Now, now that Barnes has said, hey, Folke, you're not an automatic starter. I love Folke. He brings a lot to the table, but maybe he's not the best in these lineups. I love Chandler, Zeke,
JJJ when he's healthy.
JJJ and Vescovi or Vescovi, whatever you call him, and then Euros. That's a tough team to match up with. So I love the small ball, and we beat Vandy. I mean, not a great team, but it's a pretty decent team without Triple J, the defensive leader. Second half, I was a good win on last night.
I thought so too. Well, guys, I have had a crap week. For those that don't know, I've had COVID. I fell off a ladder. I've been flat on my back for 3 days. I lost a friend today to COVID. So if you're not vaccinated, go get vaccinated. What are you waiting on?
Yes.
But I thought I was going to have to miss tonight's show, but my final words is it's good to be back home, and I've really missed this.
We've missed you.
2 weeks since y'all got to see my favorite.
Yeah, we definitely miss you.
My favorite Washington Sentinels jersey. I'm all back for the playoff run. And, hey, all my Super Bowl picks are still alive. My AFC Championship game is still alive, Chiefs and Bengals. The Bucks and the Packers are still alive. I'm looking to clean sweep this playoffs.
And
Meta, last words, please, sir.
There's always one more word from Robbie.
Yeah. I'm just
Mouth of a lawyer here. Come on.
Rodgers is paying attention. So I was just going to update. The CDC guidelines are A new symptom of COVID is falling off of ladders.
Evidently. Evidently. Hey, I fell so hard, I broke a 2x10 in my floor. So Brandon, we got to talk about how I braced the 2x10 in the subflooring. Brendan, you got anything to add to this?
No, man, I'm ready to go.
Sunday, about 11 o'clock, we'll jump on here for a half hour. Like, smash, follow, subscribe. YouTube is our home. I don't know how the chat's going to work, but we'll get it up there. For Randall Cunningham, for Brandon Chang, for Robbie Davis, for Roger, you paying attention now?
His
And
mic's
leave us
on mute.
comments. What you want to
His
hear?
mic's on mute,
He's
so
on
he doesn't
mute.
know why.
I don't know if he can figure it out.
There you go.
It took me a while.
Can they
Thanks.
comment?
It's a little button that
Comment
says
below.
that's got a slash
Thanks.
through it.
I was trying to say Who Day, which is what they ripped it off from the Saints, but that's what they say in Cincinnati, Ohio. Who Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Bengals.
Yeah, who
that's
dat
the
and who day, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's cut this shit. I'm donezo.
For my 48-hour band that'll be up on Wednesday or on Friday. This is Randall Cunningham, 3 hours sports and reckless speculation. We'll see you Sunday.